And ladies and gentlemen, we are live. You heard me on your end. I kind of borrowed that from Sneed. Shout out to Sneed. Um, so whether you come in, you watch this live, or you watch this on the replay, if you do watch it on the replay, hashtag replay crew would really appreciate that. If you watch this on the live, then give a shout out and a warm welcome to my special guest. Again, you guys remember her from the last live stream that I did involving Protect Our Keiki, a movement that is making strong waves on the island of Hawaii. And so much that an interesting turn happened to you, which we're going to share with everybody here in a little bit. But I brought you on today so you can share a little bit of what's going on and what the movement is facing now, along with an interesting addition, another group that spawned based on inspiration by your guys' movement. So let's start with that first. This new group, who are they, what are they, and what got them started?
Okay. I like this part of the conversation right now. I'll just share that because I love seeing when people are inspired because I like to be inspired, and that's kind of what got me, involved in the movement in the first place. Not only just because, I survived, but also because I am inspired, and I am inspired by, people who are out there, trying to make a difference in their community, trying to raise awareness. Okay, so this group is called Kia'i for the Keiki. Um, they are a group that became inspired. I mean, they shared with me that they were inspired by Protect Our Keiki. Um, I'm still getting to know them, so I'm not going to, I look at them as a car club, but they're not. They don't consider themselves one. They consider themselves just an ohana of people who are like minded. They call themselves actually the Palalas and Tiras Union, and yeah, you know, um, those are Hawaii terms. Palalas, Tiras. Y'all know. I mean, anybody from Hawaii will know what that is. But they're a good group of strong people who are strongly, strongly conservative, strongly all about family, you know, and they treat each other so much like family. And interesting is, I just met them. I mean, I've met them at sine wave events, but I met them as an entire group. I think it was
Mhm.
last week Monday, and just being around them, I feel the. You can just feel. You can feel. Well, I can. I can feel. I can sense people's feelings and everything that starts. And these guys, I like hanging with them. They're really good people. Really good people. And to see them out there with us yesterday, with their group. And you'll know this is their group because I mean, a lot of our truck clubs, again, they don't consider themselves a club, but an ohana. But a lot of them, they have their vehicles all pretty much with Hawaiian flags all over the place representing,
Yeah.
the Kanakas, which is the indigenous people of Hawaii, those who are of the land, those who those who have Hawaiian blood are Kanakas, and they are, and they're amazing. They really are. The Makaha Sine Wave event we had was, I guess you could call it like a joint collaboration between Protect Our Keiki and Kia'i for the Keiki. As we both promoted it, as we both brought out people from our groups and stuff. It was a beautiful turnout though yesterday at the beginning. It was really nice. I love this group, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, I'll see them again at 6:30 because they get their Monday meetings and stuff. So I get to. They invited me to come. They invited Vernell, which is she works with me. She's my husband's cousin, so she's my cousin too. And we work together on our sine wave events and stuff like that. She is amazing. I work with amazing people. The Lord's put a lot of amazing people in front of me. And
That's awesome. Um, so with this newfound group that basically, as you told me before when we personally talked, that They came together because they were inspired by Protect Our Keiki, which is your, I guess you could say, your home group that you've done a lot of work for. Yesterday, and by the way, everyone that's watching, we are going to share the clips of what happened yesterday. So be ready for that one. But yesterday, while you were out there and you guys were doing what you guys normally do, sign wave, get the attention of passerbyers in their vehicles, getting support from the locals out there and non-locals, because I can't say who's driving in the vehicle.
Right.
You had an interesting day when you were approached by HPD, Honolulu Police Department. What happened there? Tell us about that.
Well, the first time they came through, I guess they came through because you know we were we were located at in Makaha at the old Cornets building, which actually anchors Long's drugs right now and stuff like that, and it's called Makaha Marketplace today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it is a little cute shopping little complex, L shaped, and I mean you
Let me see if
most of
I
the
go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna bring up a photo to see if I can give people a visual.
oh okay yeah. Um, it's a cute little quaint building, I would say. I mean, it's nothing spectacular. It's it's I think it's seen better days, but it is like an old landmark in Makaha. Everybody knows where the old Cornets building is, and so we decided to go there. But before we even went to that building, so my cousin and I think it was a Wednesday. It was either a Wednesday. I think it was a Wednesday. It was a Wednesday. We knew Sunday was approaching. We had an idea that it was going to be a big thing because of the response, you know, to it. People saying, I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there, I'll be there. So we realized, oh my gosh, this is going to be a big one. It's not going to be like what we did in Kailua or what we did in Waipahu, which was smaller numbers. We knew
Yeah,
this was going to turn out to be, at least 100 people. I knew that. So what we were trying to do on Wednesday was we tried to go to Waianae police station, which happened to be closed. It was closed. Like the doors were locked. You couldn't go in. We wanted to touch bases with them personally and let them know, hey, we have this planned and what, we were trying to like, basically just kind of let them be aware and let them kind of tell us or inform us if can, no can, how can, if, because of the governor's standing order of 10 people or less, and groups of 10 people or less, and groups got to be like 6 feet apart, got to be like away.
right.
So we went to the police station to get some sort of directive, try to reach out to them, try to do the right thing, really, and correspond with them. But nobody was there. So I sent a message. Um, but nobody ever responded back. So I was like, okay. Following the police station, we went to the old Cornets building. Um, we went to Long's. We went to the liquor store that's there. We went to the shave ice shop that was there. That those are like the stores that would be open on Sunday.
Yeah,
We spoke with the security guard of the building, and he was super nice. Um, and he took us to each place, introduced us to the owners of the business or the managers of the businesses, and allowed us, and then he walked away and allowed Vernell and I, to speak and to share with these business owners what was happening, and you know like give them the heads up, let them say what they need to say if they're in opposition or if they're for it, for or oppose, or sort of like this.
yeah,
you know we we did that because we needed to have dialogue, because most of the places we go to is by beach parks or public areas, but this is a shopping complex,
right.
and the last thing we wanted to do was scare off patrons and you know affect their businesses negatively. We didn't want to do that, and so we wanted to have the opportunity to have a dialogue with each of the businesses, to which I gotta say every single business, including Longs, gave us a thumbs up. When they realized what the cause was for, they said, yes, do it. So it was like, okay. So while I'm waiting for HPD, to get back and stuff like that, remember, I do other things as well. I plan other events as well. So I'm not always constantly staring at my phone and staring and waiting for, HPD to call, and maybe I should have been more vigilant
Uh-huh.
or diligent in maybe bugging them every single day, or but I realized that they even get emergencies too, you know what I mean, that they gotta do. And my thing is not an emergency. The event's not a emergency per se, so and with facts that cops are spread thin, they don't always answer the call right away. They're not fast at responding. I mean, I figured I'd just allow them to get back to me when it's convenient for them, but it didn't happen. So when that event happened yesterday, a lot of we have a lot of truck and car clubs here in Hawaii. We do. We don't even have a racetrack for them, and they don't really race. These groups that showed up, they're more like the cruisers. They're the convoy guys. They're the guys that
Yeah, I
convoy the
know.
island, and they're like super cool. They're cool. So I gotta give a shout out to, and I hope I can remember their names. I'm old and I'm fragile, but we had Kanaka Crew Rebuilt, Halala's Union, Halala's and the Tita's Union. I gotta put them together because they're together. Um, Team Built. Oh my gosh, I'm so trying to think. Oh wait, Ugh. Street Pirates. Okay, yeah, they were there. And then you had this kickboxing club who've been with us in YNI, and they support us
Uh-huh.
all over. West Side Striking, their Keikis was out there, holding sign. West Side Striking is actually one good kickboxing club. The teacher doesn't charge the kids for teach them. He sees a need to help our kids, stay
Yeah.
out of trouble. So the teacher or the coach, his name is Mike Talalotu. Very good man. Very good man. My contact with them is through Angel Morales. She's a parent, and one of her kids or her kids are all members of West Side Striking. Really good kickboxing club. And they've been very supportive. So we have such a huge supportive group that the parking lot started to get really filled with everybody's cars.
Mm.
And cops do run back and forth down Makaha and everything. And so I am at, one of them came in, then another one came in. So I had two of them, two cars. And they spoke with somebody, I guess, asking who's the organizer of the event and whatever's, and they pointed it to me. And so, they pointed to me, and then I was summoned. You know,
Yeah.
um, so of course the cop asked asked what we were doing. I share with him we're there to peacefully assemble, to share a message, to protect our keiki. You know, I did explain to him that we did try to reach out to HPD. You know, and I did let him know that, yeah, maybe I should have been more aggressive in calling, but I felt you guys are spread so thin. I never like be in pain. You know what I mean? When
Yeah, it's
storm.
common courtesy, right? You're trying to let them be available for what you would consider to be more serious emergencies.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly how I was feeling. Um, next time I'll be more aggressive. I guess. You know what I mean? I'll be more aggressive. I'll type out something, type out letters. I don't know. It seems like it doesn't go through email very well because I've sent them two emails, so that doesn't really go through. So I guess I'm just gonna have to like physically go to their police station if I can't do Wine one because they're closed. Because it was 2:30 in the afternoon. I don't know how or why they were closed. I don't understand it. There was no note on the building that explained it, so I can't speculate. But I just gonna say they weren't open, wasn't available. So I guess I'm probably gonna have to go to Kapolei's main station to do that there, or maybe even try to go even higher and talk to the chief of police, Susan Ballard, and see
Yeah.
what she says. Because man, and I gotta admit, most cops I talk to are very friendly cops, but not this one I encountered yesterday. This one I
Mm,
encountered. This one I encountered yesterday. Pretty much like had a chip on his shoulder. You and I have a stepfather who had a chip on his shoulder. Tim. That's kind of like how what he reminded me of.
yeah, don't
Very
remind me about Tim.
very authoritative. Very because I'm not a very combative person. Not today. Like if I was in my teens, yeah, I could understand the cop getting lippy with me, but you
So he
know,
was super cop. He was
he,
like, he was come up like, ma'am,
yeah,
I need to see your ID.
he was like, okay, he was basically saying, there's a standing order right now, yeah. And I was like, yes, I do. He says, so why you guys here? He said, we're raising awareness of our missing runaway keiki and sex trafficking. We're trying to exercise our First Amendment right.
Yeah,
That's what we're here for. We're not here to hurt anybody. We're not here to loot stores. We're not here to hurt businesses. If the businesses would like us to go, we'll respectfully leave. But we got support from them. We tried to get it from you guys, but and he's like, oh, and how'd you try contact us? And I was like, well, we tried to go to your station first of all. You guys weren't there. So I decided to email you guys, which didn't come back. Then I decided to send a message to you guys on your Facebook page because you guys have a Facebook page, and I didn't receive any, word on that. So I really don't. I said, I don't know. We did our thing, and here we are. We decided since we got the blessings of the store managers and owners of that shopping complex, and even of the security guard. I even gave the security guard our phone number for the owner of the building because he was going to tell the owner of the building, and if they
yeah,
had any questions, concerns, or they wanted to tell us no, you cannot. They had my name, they had my phone number. They could have called. Nobody called for that. What is there
yeah,
comments or something? Are you reading stuff?
yeah. Reading some of the comments that's over here. Oscar said amen. Who said amen to Ricky? Ricky popped in real quick. I know Sneed's doing a live stream. I conflicted live streams with him, but it's okay though. Um,
Ouch.
they're gonna come back and watch the replay. Gene's inside here. And Oscar said, "Yep, Gene, God is control of everything. It's good deeds." I think he meant to type that out another way. But here's the interesting thing. You, so you had an officer approach you. You had an officer who had a chip on his shoulder, super cop, and you're still being respectful to him. And I want to commend you for being respectful because I'm a smartass. If he came up to me and he said, don't you know that there's a standing order in effect? Then I would say, yes, officer, and you're violating it right now. You're too damn close. Get back. 6 feet, brother, 6 feet. That's good. And if he starts talking to me like, oh, who did you try contact? That would have been like, bro, your superiors. Obviously, you ain't the chief, bro. And then if he was to continue on with that stuff, and I told him, hey, you know what? You guys give him Facebook. Yeah, you heard. Try check. You get Facebook or what? Try check. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Instead you went email. The kind of you send one digital mail, not like U.S. Postal Service lick the stamp kind. I send you one digital one, brah. Try check your freaking emails. See, but I'm a smartass. You know me. I like to make waves. I like to rub people when they come in, because it's one thing if you're just coming in to like be like, hey, I am sorry that I'm here to bust up your guys' parade, but we do have a standing ordinance per governor, and this is looking like it's going to violate that. Are you the one in control? I would have been more respectful, because you guys are doing something that, I know the police are spread thin. I know that they deal with so much in a day. They deal with so much attitude from other people. Maybe that's what happened to the cop. Maybe, he just came off going to one house where the guy had beat his wife or something. We never know. But there's still a thing called professionalism. And if that police officer happens to come across this live stream, I'm going to say, brah, get your shit together because you are not professional. Sorry to say, but go ahead.
It is what it is. I mean, according to a lot of a lot of our attendees there, they are very familiar with this cop, and they say he's always like that. Always got a chip on his shoulder, always mad, always authoritative, always got to puff his chest and beat his chest like he Tarzan or something. So I mean, I get it. I get it. You know, I do try to respect. First of all, you know, if it were me personally, and if I weren't representing, you know, a group of people, because I don't just represent myself anymore, and that's the tricky part about being part of a group. You know, you don't represent just you; you represent the group. And then when people know you as a movement, then you're representing a movement. And we really gotta we really gotta conduct ourselves in a very fair, and I guess in Hawaii, kapu aloha.
Real quick, I don't know if you can see it on your screen. Is this the video you want me to start off with first?
Probably not.
Is it more down? Because
Yeah, I have a lot of videos. Yeah, you can start with that one, I guess.
okay.
Oh, I
And
can hear you know.
yeah, it's sharing the audio from this. If you want to mute your mic for just a second, and I'll mute mine.
I'm gonna keep you guys on with me as I go, just in case HPD like come back and give us rash about this again. And all we trying to do is share a message. Trying to share a message for Protect Our Keiki. That's all we trying to do here. Same thing as we do everywhere we go. We've been to Kailua. We've been to Waimanalo. We've been to Mililani. We've been to Waipahu. We've been to Waikele. We've been to Nanakuli. We've been to Mighty. We was in Wainai. Now we're here in Makaha, the hometown of our founder, Lo Haka Miliora. This is his hometown, and they all came out here to share a message, right along to protect our keiki. I'm going on record here to say that this is a peaceful protest, and everybody pretty much came here on their own volition. You know, everybody came here for support. Everybody came here to share the message that we're going to protect our keiki, no matter what. Does that light not work? I guess the light don't even work. This is all our Kanakas over here, guys. This is our people. And we are trying to protect each and every one of them. Our keikis are out here today too. Our keikis are here for share that message to protect them. These are our keikis. Our keikis are out here using their voice. Everybody here is here to share awareness and a message. Protect their keiki. Kia for the keiki right there. James Awana. How's it, guys? All the support and love from all our ohana come all over the place. Some from the north, some from the east. You guys all know Cowboy over there. We're here for stand and defend our keiki. Right here. Protect our keikis at any cost. Because the government won't. You guys have been talking a whole lot on Facebook about the government not protecting our keiki. Worried about how everything gonna be when they go back to school. Yeah. So it's up to us. It's up to us to care for our keikis. Yeah, it's up to us. So stand up for our keikis. our Keiki stand for our future when we don't can stand for them now? This is what it's about. This is about all of us. This is about Hawaii coming together. This is about us raising awareness, sharing a message. I'll dive in. Report on missing Keiki. What's the real pandemic, you guys? What's the real pandemic? We're still out here. We are still out here. We're not going anywhere. How much injustice have you guys seen? The turbines, the Mauna, and now about our Keikis.
That is a
We are standing
huge
solid.
turnout.
We are standing solid. Don't mind me. I sweating like sweating bullets, but we all here. We all standing in the sun. We are all out here in the sun. As uncomfortable as our government is gonna make us uncomfortable, we are out here in the sun. We are going to share our message. Government's not gonna stop us. We have rights. We have rights to be out here. We have rights to protect our Keiki. Our Keiki is our future, and we need to protect that future. No one is taking that from us. Not even you.
Okay, real quick. Let me remove that real quick. Okay. So interesting turnout. Interesting turnout. Whoa. That was a huge turnout.
I sounded pretty militant. I sounded pretty militant now that I hear it.
No,
I
no,
think
you sounded like someone that has that has something to say. It's different from somebody that doesn't really have anything to say versus somebody that's committed to something. Like there's people that go and I'm going to support this cause or I'm going to support that cause, but they're not really committed. And then you hear somebody who's actually committed about what they're doing. And like yeah, I mean, okay, I've seen the news reach out to you and to cover the story because they wanted to get the inside of what's happening. And I remember, because I watch your videos, your live streams, I've seen the turnouts that you've had, and I noticed it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger as time keeps going. And you know what? The beautiful thing that I see about it is everybody in that crowd. I'm not there to stand with you physically. I'm not there to rally behind you and run up and down that street and get everyone pumped and scream out to the top of my lungs. You know, sorry about my dogs. That's my 5-star security alarm.
Dodgy.
But seeing all the people out there supporting you is a very beautiful thing. And I would say to anyone that was in that video, whether you're in the foreground, on the sidewalk, or in the background by your trucks, by your vehicles, but to all of you that stood with my sister out there, thank you guys so much. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart because that's a beautiful thing to see. That is amazing to have that many people turn out, from all the adults that was there to all even teenagers. Wow, I remember when I was their age and I would never pay attention to stuff like that. I like go to my girlfriend's house. I like hang out and chill. So to see them actually come out, and then that one teen was out there, but I guess that was either his girlfriend or a friend or sister, whatever. I don't want to assume, but if that was his girlfriend, then that's cool that they both went out there to support it. You don't see a lot of that. So that was a really good turnout event. Bravo.
Well,
Bravo.
it's Hawaii. That's Hawaii for you. They care about their. We care about our keikis. You know what I mean? Like we're all about. Our culture is all about protecting the kupunas and the keikis. Kupunas are our elderly, so we care for them. We care for our keikis. Like people my age are considered stronger and able, so we're able to protect ourselves. So we lend a hand in, protecting our keikis, who are a vulnerable population, and our kupunas, who are also a vulnerable population. We're about caring for those who, cannot care for themselves. And so we get really the kind, we you ruffle our feathers if you mess with our kupunas and our keikis. You cannot mess with kupunas and keikis. You can mess with us, but not with those two groups. We will get, Yeah, you will ruffle our feathers. You'll get different reactions. Some of us will chew you out. Some of us will lay hands. So, but that's Hawaii
Yeah.
culture. That's what it is, and I think that's what people got to understand too.
I want to address something here real quick, and
Go ahead.
I noticed this in the comments. Riverdale Tales. So a couple of things that he says is true, right? This is an archaic business. It's been going on for years and centuries. I got it, but there is one thing that I do want to kind of like touch base with, and that is the mentality when you use the phrase that it won't stop. You know, just because things seem bleak and just because the task seems impossible, it doesn't mean that anybody shouldn't try. And maybe you're not saying that no one shouldn't try, but we got to strike that vocabulary out of our statements when we say things. When we say that child sex trafficking and human sex trafficking won't stop. Because if you have that as your mentality, if you have that in your vocabulary, then it won't stop because you've already given up. When you use negative terms like that, you've already given up. You know, yeah. So the fight may seem, peril. So it may seem that you're at the base of a very giant mountain and you haven't
An
even taken
uphill
your first
battle.
step. Yeah, but just because you're at the bottom of the mountain looking up and seeing how high the summit is, doesn't mean that it's impossible to get to the top. You just got to endure the walk. Like in all things in life, being successful in life, that's the same formula. You want to be wealthy and rich, you start at the bottom, you look to the top of that mountain, and you take it one step at a time. However many steps it takes to get to the top, you get there. You can take shortcuts, you can take long ways. There are many paths to the top of the mountain, but the view is always the same. But to not take that first step, you'll never get to the top if you already have defeated
Resign.
yourself. Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to kind of point that out, and that's for anyone out there. You have to, even if people say it's a blind faith. So what? Then I'll walk into it blindly. I
Well,
don't
I
care.
mean, that's the same as saying, well, we're all gonna die anyway. So why go to a doctor? No need to go doctor. Just die.
Because there's a
It's
difference. If you go to the doctor, you won't die as quickly as you would if you did go. If you didn't go, you would
it's
die sooner.
that's exactly my point. Is while we're out there and people know we're out there, those guys are gonna really watch themselves now. Like when we don't, when we were not out there, they were freely doing what they were doing. They were so comfortable. Right now,
Right.
they're probably pausing. Sure, they may still be hurting people, but they're thinking about it now because we're there. Now they're going to look at everybody and wonder who's wondering, who's thinking, who's looking at me, who's profiling me, who's, you know, as much
Yeah.
as, we're being aware of them, now they're being aware of us. We're giving them an opposition. We're not
Exactly.
we're not saying to them, "Oh, go ahead, continue what you're doing. We're never going to stop you anyway, so I'm going to like turn a blind eye." No. Now they're going to have to start thinking because now they know. People are aware now.
And
And
that's
they
the whole point. That is the point of spreading awareness because people that weren't thinking about it, that now they've seen your signs, it's in their head when they walk in the Safeway parking lot or Don Quixote's, if that's what it's called still or whatever it's called
it
now.
is.
Yeah, if when they walk into that parking lot and they see some kind of odd behavior from somebody with the kid, and the kid looks in fear or scared, now they're gonna think, oh, what if that kid is not that person's kid? Maybe I should
Exactly.
call the police and do a welfare check, give a
Yeah.
description of the adult, give a description of the child. Maybe I should, kind of hold my distance, but maybe smoke cigarette, kind of, just kick back, but kind of like follow behind, yeah. And then if the police call me back and say, hey, we don't see the guy, do you know where you stay? Oh yeah, I stay right behind them by this street, by this street. I'm wearing this shirt. I'm like 10 feet behind them, people won't take that initiative to do it because they're blind to it. It's that whole mentality thing. Like you can look at a wall and not see a certain speck, but when someone points out that speck, now all of a sudden it's in your radar. Even if you in your peripheral vision, you see the speck on the wall because it's been pointed out.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
then and that's what we're trying to do. I know we're not going to be able to save everybody. I get it. I know we're not going to be able to, you know, hit a switch and, this is off. No more, I get it. I know. I mean, I'm not blind to that, you know. But if we can help one person prevent, that's what I mean. That's kind of like what we try to do too. It's not about just saving and stuff like that, because we know not everybody's going to be saved. We understand that. There's always casualties. There's always. It's sad, and I don't like it. And in a perfect world, I wish it wouldn't be. But, you know, I believe protests will change. It will change things. It will change the future. The future will see it. And they'll know how to keep themselves from becoming targets. They'll learn how to keep themselves from being victims. These protests may
Right.
not change what's happening or what has happened already, but I think it'll change the next generation, the way they think. And if
Exactly.
that's what it does, then my gosh, we did it for a great reason. Even if we couldn't help our own generation today, even if we can't stop these guys today or whatever's, but we're still raising another generation. And so if we sit down and do nothing, what is that telling them? That I'm complicit? That I'm okay with it? I'm not okay with it. I'm not complicit. I'm a person that stands up for what I believe in. And a lot of times I stand alone, and that's fine. I'll stand alone. I'm not afraid to stand alone. I've done it, you know, but I have kids, and I refuse to raise them and not inform them of anything. That's just like me just raising them, feeding them, not teaching them stuff, and then sending them on their way out to the world to figure it out for themselves. I arm my kids. That's my responsibility as a parent. And I think that's what every parent does when they go out there and wave a sign. It may not seem like much, but you know what? It it helps. You know how many survivors came to me since I started this? 14. 14 survivors who've been silent about their experiences have come forward to me, spoke to me, personally, sharing their story. That heals them,
That's 14 more than what you started with. That's a
right?
huge number because, you know, okay, I'm going to do this. So when you're a victim of sexual assault, it's not easy to come out and talk about it. It's not easy to just go to someone and say, "Hey, I was assaulted. Hey, I was raped." Even and like not playing one side to the other, but I would say, from my perspective, because I'm openly admitting that I was a victim of sexual assault, it's not easy for a guy to come out and say it. You know, I was 15, well, 14 actually, and I lived with my mom and my stepdad. And I feel like that's the reason why my mom sent me back to my dad without telling him that I was coming back to Hawaii. But I'm not going to go into detail about it because it's still a troubling past for me. It still hurts to think about it. But I will say this: it's not easy for someone to come out and share their story and say where they're coming from and how they felt and what ordeals that they went through. And I can say that from personal experience. So when you say 14 people opened up to you, that's an accomplishment that 14 people were trusting and willing to open up and tell you what happened to them. Because when you keep this stuff inside, it really messes up your life. It messed me up for a long time. And I won't completely blame it all on that, but I would say that is major reason that when between the age of 15 and 27, I was wild, stupid, and didn't care about life because I was just like, the worst has happened. What's the point of existing anymore? I kept it all to myself. I didn't tell you. I didn't tell dad. I didn't tell dad till like I was going to see a therapist from his church. And I told the therapist about it, and she told me to tell my dad. And then I broke down in his front yard and told him. And the look on dad's face was one for the books because while he tried to be there for me, at the same time, it looked like that, he wanted to kill mom's husband. So, but It's not easy to come out. So 14, that's a huge accomplishment. I will give you that.
Yeah, it's really not easy to come out and say, "Oh yeah, this has happened." It's especially our generation. Our generation didn't talk very much. We
We
were
were taught
really,
not to.
yeah, we were secret and silent. Very silent about our lives.
What's that philosophy? Children are seen, not heard.
Not heard.
That's how we were raised.
Yeah, I think
Hey, phone
that's
tech at work. Thanks for coming in, man. I appreciate you coming in and listening. Phone
yeah,
tech at work is cool.
cool. Nah, I mean, I appreciate everybody's opinions, though. I do. I appreciate Riverdale's opinions. Riverdale, right?
Hmm.
Was his name? Yeah. I do
Yeah,
appreciate his opinions. And Riverdale, Oli Pilikia. In Hawaii, that means no troubles, no worries, no, like
that's
your
not no
opinion.
Hawaiian swear word.
Yeah, it's not a, yeah, as a matter of fact, to be honest, interesting factoid, Hawaiians don't have
Hawaiians don't
swear
have swear
words.
words.
Yeah,
If someone says they're cussing you out in Hawaiian, they're lying to you. They're either probably speaking Samoan
yeah,
or they're speaking either Tagalog or Ilocano.
something like that. But I know that I'll tell you this, Hawaiians don't have swear words. They don't. They're a very aloha oriented culture. Very,
Yeah.
very full of aloha. So we don't have swear words. If we're gonna swear at you, we're gonna swear in English. Because that's all
I
we know.
wanna I wanna share that other clip real quick. Before I share, well, I'm gonna pop it on the screen, but I'm not gonna play it just yet. So you can kind of give us a synopsis of what's about to happen here. This clip right here. Um, this was after the police came to you, or
I'm trying to look at it. I can't see it. Who
oh,
posted it?
James Avana.
Oh, okay. James. Okay, so nah, he was just pretty much doing the same thing I was doing. Um, because he's from Kia E for the Keiki. So
Okay.
I'm Protector Keiki, he's Kia E for the Keiki. So we're two different leaders of different groups for the same movement. And he's documenting his account on there.
Okay. What about this video right here? This one was posted by you. I think you were just showing more signs.
Probably. Probably.
I'm trying to find that one video where you this
Okay, well,
one.
yeah, you can play that one. That one was weird, but because for some reason, I still got to work on being on camera. I mean, I can do it naturally when I'm doing it like selfie kind, but somebody else was filming me and I was like very uncomfortable. They're like, "Oh, and you're on." And I'm like, I started to freeze, but yeah, you can play it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic. Let's mute yours so there's no like feedback into it, and then
Okay, guys. First off, I wanna give my mahalos to those who've been supporting Protect Our Keiki thus far. We're in our third month and we're doing it here. The founders hold on, however, HPD like shut us down. They do. They like to shut us down. Unless we comply with Governor Ike's order. No more than 10 people to a group, 6 feet apart. We say they have one more tank from any resident on this side, they'll arrest people. So, you know what? First, I will say this. We have rights. I have rights. I have rights like everybody else here has rights. Peace. We have rights to protect our people. We're not out here, starting or making trouble to anybody. We're not here trying to hurt anybody. We're here with one message, and that's protect our people. We have the right to peacefully protest, and that's what we're doing today. I'm coming here on Facebook. I'm putting this on record. Protect our Keiki here. Peacefully protest to protect our Keiki, to end sex trafficking that's happening on our island. And HPD would love to get their hands on us. Citations, and they love to arrest me. Don't let them take your right to leave. Don't let them take away your voice. I will not allow them to take away mine. I don't straight.
I can see it. I can see it in your face that you keep it up there for a second. That's it. But yeah, I can see it in your face. A lot of pain. A lot of pain. Yeah, I can tell you're gonna cry. I know you better than anybody. Well, sort of. I know you most of my earlier life, and then Mingo Boy knows you throughout your marriage. So he knows you more better than I know you now. But I do know when you're holding back your tears when you're not trying to cry.
Yeah, because I mean, they wanted to arrest me. You know what I mean? They said if we have to come back one more complaint, we're gonna have to place you under arrest. I was like, wow, I'll do the best I can to get these guys to spread out. That was the first conversation, you know?
Yeah.
So I'll do my best to go out there and spread people out. And so myself and another survivor, Leilani, some of you, if you guys watched my town hall event a few weeks back, she was the survivor who spoke. Very outspoken girl, but she had to fight to earn that voice of hers. She had to fight to get it. And so she was with me. She came with me. We talked to every single group of people that was there. No more than 10 people in your group, guys. Please spread out a little bit. They were hot. It was hot out there, you know. And I get it. You know, they want to be by their vehicles. Of course, parents want to be by their kids, you know, and families who come from the same home want to stay together. You know, Hawaii is, first of all, the rent here is ridiculous. So a
Yeah.
lot of the Kanakas, they live in multi-generational homes, meaning in the home there's tutu, there's, you know, grandma, grandpa, then
Yeah.
there's their kids, which are parents, and then there's, you know, the babies, you know. So there's like three generations living in a home. And that can get to more than 10 people in a house. When we were multi-generational home, there used to be 12 of us in this three-bedroom home. 12, you know. And so I mean, that's how Hawaiian homes are. That's how it is. So a lot of these people come from the same homes and they're bigger than a group of 10. They're like 12, 13, 14. You know, if they get bigger house, they probably get like 15, 16 people in one home, you know, but what matters to the government is not the individual's rights. It's what the public perceives. We have a hotline here in Hawaii that was just implemented a few weeks back. And it's called the COVID report line, I guess. Like if you see people gathering or whatever's, you call a hotline and you report them. Interesting thing is you had beaches that were crowded, a rock that was crowded with people. You know, you still get people that's still getting together and they're not even sharing a message. They're just doing it for fun. And they have the right to. They have rights. But the thing is like, you know, out of all these gatherings that have been happening, I've never I never thought a cop would be so mean and so like that about something we're doing. I'm like, we're doing something positive. We're not gathering at a beach for the kind like drink and have fun and whatever. Although, hey, people have their rights, and I'm not going to tell people what
Yeah,
to
I
do with
would.
their lives. But
Frick. I
you're
would get some of
intimid.
the old
You're
boys and crack Heinekens.
It's like you're trying to intimidate a movement that's meant to be a positive movement, yet
Well,
everybody else.
I thought of something of why he might have been. I mean, I know you said to me earlier, that a lot of people say that, in that area where he patrols, he's always like that. But maybe, maybe he decided to target you, even though you had a big gathering and you guys stood for something, because maybe he felt like he was inadequate. Like, oh, you guys are out here spreading a message because you guys think that I can't do my job. Well, sometimes people take things like that, you know what I mean? But again, professionalism. That is, like, if this is a kid show, hey there, all boys and girls. The word of the day is ring, professionalism. Because man, does he need us? He needs a whole serving of humble pie and a whole lot of freaking professionalism cake. because the way you described that he spoke to you, there was no call for that. I mean, you guys were not protesting in conjunction with what's going on here in the mainland, that what's going on in Chicago, what's going on in Portland. You're not about that. You're not about that. You're not taking a political side. You're taking the children's side, which again, I will say this to anyone who watches this. That is a side that I think everyone's forgetting about. Even with all this political stuff that's going on out there, that is the thing that people are forgetting about. They're forgetting about the children. I don't matter in this world anymore. I'm going to be 38 tomorrow. I'm going to be 40 in 2 years, which means I'm going to be over the hill. It's no longer an ascension. Now it's descending for me. My only purpose in this world is that the little girl that opened the door to try to walk in here, and her sister and her brothers, that they have a meaning and a fulfilling life of success and happiness. And success does not mean dollars, people. Success means that they are happy. And that they're well-educated, well-thought, free thinkers that can think for themselves and are leaders in their generation and not followers. That is my only goal in this world. So the other day I said, because I mentioned in my live stream the other day, that we have home invasions now here in Phoenix, and in Mesa, and in Tempe, and in Scottsdale, which is the rich neighborhood, for those who don't know. And the home invasions are not for possessions. It's not for money. It's for kids. They have gotten brave and are now kicking doors open and taking kids. So I said in a live stream, I got all kinds of weapons in my house. Everything in here is a weapon. A freaking Coke bottle, I can bust it and stab somebody. A knife. I know this is very violent. And no, for those watching, I'm not monetizing this, so I can say what I want. But if someone comes in here to try to take my kids, they're not coming out of this house. Oh, let me let my son in. Come in, Rain. Yes. Yes, you can use my bathroom. But yeah, if you come in my house and try to take my kids, just know this: you enter my doors, you're not exiting my doors.
At least not alive.
You're gonna fall where you stand. And it's not me, saying that violence is good, because no, in reality, would I have the heart to take someone's life? No, I wouldn't. I would not. But if it's my kids or their life, my kid's life matters first. No one is going to put my daughter through that, or my son. And because I can vividly think about what my kids would go through, which is such a hellacious nightmare, I can only imagine what the real children that are going through it every day are feeling. Sad, alone, crying, or maybe emotionally broken. They no longer can feel anything because they have closed off the mentally to the point where they have built this 4 walls in their brain, in their mind, to not feel anything because they don't want to feel the pain they felt through the first experience of being taken by force. It's a disgusting business. And for any person out there who pays into this business, you need help. And I'm saying it bluntly. And I'm not, screw it. I am being mean at this point, because anyone that can look like you had a conversation with me about maps, and I'm seeing a lot of it now. I'm seeing somebody, my friend Lino, who used to work with me at Convergence for the Sprint contract. He shares stuff on Facebook. He's very political. He shared this post, and it goes to the effect where someone had commented on a Twitter post, and was saying that pedophilia is a gender. And there was a funny statement tweeted in response to it. I forgot what the statement was, but people today are really trying to come up with anything to make it okay. They try to blend themselves with LGBTQ. They're trying to tell people that it's a gender. It's now supposedly a fucking gender to be attracted to a child and want to have sex with a child. Like, are you kidding me? It's a gender now. Like, I don't mean to rain on anyone else's parade who wanted their gender identified and recognized by the rest of the world and the rest of the country, okay? No, that's fine and dandy. You want your gender recognized, that's cool. But pedophilia is not a gender. Being bisexual is a gender. You know, uh or like I don't know, they have so many different ones. I don't even know what ones to name, but being a pedophile is not a gender, and whoever is portraying this needs Jesus, needs the Lord really bad, or whatever God they pray to, but seek the guidance of that God, because there's something seriously wrong when you're going to try to convince the world that it's socially acceptable for a person to be attracted and wanting to have sexual relations with a child. That is just disgusting by all means. And if they touch holy water, they're going to burn. That's all I'm going to say on that. They're going to burn.
I can never agree, that having sex with a child is a good thing. I'm never going to agree with that. Children cannot make informed decisions. As a matter of fact, a human being cannot really make sound judgments until they're about the age of 25. It's scientifically proven. They can't. That's why your guys' car insurance, for those who are 24 and below, your car insurance premiums are higher than mine. Sorry. But it's just because the area of the brain that, I guess, basically works on judgment and reasoning doesn't fully develop. And children can't make that kind of decision. They cannot. What kind of a 5, 6 year old child can make an informed decision to get involved sexually with a 30, 40 year old male? You can't. They can't. They just can't. I'm sorry. That is something I'll never agree with, and I will fight to the bitter end I will fight to the bitter end to prevent that from happening. That shit ain't happening here in Hawaii. I'll tell you that. You touch my kid, and I'll fuck you up. That's as plain as simple as it gets. I'm really not one that likes to swear. I don't really swear in my videos and shit like that. But
Oh, you can hear.
you touch my kid, you'll get it. You'll fucking get it. If not from me, you'll get it from my husband, because ain't nobody touching my kids. You know what I mean? No, nobody. But that's, yeah, I mean, they're trying to get a lot of things normalized, you know what I mean? And it's really sad that that's one of them. Like, I'm like,
Here,
sometimes I don't know. I want to question the actual person who posted, because a lot of the posts I see are reshares of a reshare of a
I
reshare.
found
So,
it. There it is. Pedophilia is a sexual orientation, you bigots. Uh,
ugh.
Hashtag no map, hashtag no mapily, hashtag pedophilia. And then a person responded to that, you should put that on a shirt and come visit my rifle range. But I mean, yeah. Um, man, dude, man, will I say this, and I never thought, growing up with you, we've been all over the place. We've been to the Philippines. Our dad, proudly served in the United States Air Force, for 20 years. And then 2 years prior to that, so actually 22 years in total. We were on Clark Air Force Base. We were there when Mount Pinatubo erupted. I shared this story with my friends on YouTube. They know when I got busted because I switched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, and it was $42.99 for the game, and Dad found out at the checkout, and then I couldn't play the game. Like, they know all my stories. They know when I was in Hawaii with Ruben, I we robbed hotels, and we were climbing down the balconies of the Waikiki Banyan. Uh, I shared these stories with them.
How did your ass not fall, is what I wonder.
Cause I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. But my whole entire life, I never thought that you would create awareness on something such as this, that something like this would get out of hand. And I never thought I would find myself inspired to really push it. Like this YouTube channel is about tech, mostly about tech. But I'm at the point in my YouTube career, I would say, where I'm more like a varieties channel now. I will touch base with anything. And what's the point of having 11,000 plus subscribers if you're not going to have some sort of, calling to do something good with it? Like, I share information and that's good. But, if this could reach to somebody who, maybe searching up to look up a specific film that they want to, see, and then this becomes recommended to them afterwards, and to see this, I hope it inspires them to do the same thing. I have friends here who are inspired by what you do. They are trying to put together something here in Phoenix where they're going to do the same thing. Of course, we're not in the same situation as you guys are on the island. We're not on lockdown. Our governor is trying to get us out of it. I think we're still back in phase 1. Not right now, baby.
Really?
Yeah, put it in the microwave. My daughter, she fixed me a plate for dinner. I'm like, put it away from me. Destiny's very thoughtful. She really is. But yeah, I mean, that's the reason why, like, I wanted you to come on here. I wanted you to talk about this. I wanted to share your experience. I wanted people to hear what you have to say. Oh, Porky says, note to self, don't mess with this lady. Yeah.
Well, I would say don't mess with any parent. You know what I mean? Any parent who loves their kid, don't mess with them, because you know what? I mean, we will defend our kids to the bitter end. You know what I mean?
By the way, everybody, if you guys have any open questions you guys like to ask Sonia, feel free, and I'll start plugging in your guys' comments on the screen so she can read them and answer them. You guys want to ask anything about Protect Our Keiki, about how she got it started, what you guys can do. She's got tons of information to share with you guys. I open the ground for you guys to ask questions while we continue discussing things, and we'll get to them. Let's see, Oscar's like, I know, same here. I have a disabled daughter. I do the same thing. They're talking about, yeah, I know. Oscar's a really good guy. Oscar, man, he's been on my channel for a long time, and yeah, I believe him. He has a gorgeous little daughter. He's a very good family man. That's why I can relate with him a lot. He's about his family, and I have a lot of respect for him. Let's see. I have an intellectual disability. Really, Gene? Because I couldn't tell. Yeah, Gene's an up and coming channel, so I'm like, he's one of the channels that I'm trying to help grow. That's pretty much what I do right now. I see new YouTube channels about tech or whatever it could be. It could be about baking, it could be about cooking, and if I find value in it, then I'll try to be a mentor. Because when I started YouTube, I didn't have nobody mentor me. So, yeah. Oh, well, Oscar, she's still with you. So, you have your daughter there. You get to still hold her, because there are people today that come home and their kid's either a runaway gone or their kid has been abducted. And some parents just don't ever find their kids again. Because again, like I said in the very first stream that I had Sonia on, this business has advanced so much that they have so many kids being brought in, they can quickly get rid of the ones they don't want anymore. And it's not like they take them back home to their parents. They're traded off. They're traded off for other things like drugs, or, as morbid as it's going to sound, they're killed. They're killed and dumped. I saw a movie that kind of talked about child sex trafficking, and this kid was abducted, and it was a Korean movie. I'll try to find it so I can link it so you can watch it. But as I was reading the subtitles, and at the end of it, the girl thought she was going to go home to her parents. The guy that was with the group of people that was moving her from safe house to safe house and selling her off for money, he warmed up to her and gained her trust. And then, he kind of like fakes to her that he's going to help her get home to her parents. He takes her away from the safe house. They get to a bridge. She realizes that, the bridge is not the direction going back to where she lives, because it shows the towns that's up ahead, and none of those towns are familiar. And when she turned around, he grabbed her and threw her off the bridge. You imagine a child that's lied to that they're going to go home after doing everything that they're being told to do, that they're going to see their parents again one day, and then they're secretly carried off into God knows where, and then they're killed. It's horrible for that kid. Horrible. The last moment was knowing that they would never see their parents again, and that's all they wanted to do was see their family again. It brings tears to people's ear, to their eyes, and it's a very tough thing to think about. But this is the reality of them. This is why my sister is fighting this uphill battle and taking this long climb up the mountain. This is why all those people that were with her stand with her and wave signs, even if other people are like, "Well, that's stupid. Waving signs doesn't do anything." No, it does something. Sitting at home and giving negative reasons why you don't want to do it, that's doing nothing. You know.
There's always going to be opposition in all things, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with oppositions. It's there for a reason. It's a good test. It really is. It's a good test on our will, and um, every time there's an opposition, there's also choice. You know what I mean? It opens up. It brings out two doors, and what door am I going to go through? Door number one or door number two? So, I mean, I'm okay with opposition. I'm all right. Everybody has the right to feel the way they feel. If they feel that I'm fighting a losing battle, then that's fine. And that's okay. You know, Cops want to stop us from doing what we're doing for whatever reasons they may have. Because I'm not the cop, and I can't say why he did it. I can only speculate, and speculate is only like opinion. It's not fact. So whether they do it to silence us, or they do it because of the governor's orders, or because people complained, or because whatever it may be, there's always going to be opposition in everything. And um, for me, I just see that as an opportunity for me to grow. Where do I go from here? You know, um, what am I going to do next time? It really makes me think. And I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. I do. I We do have, a little bit of naysayers. We have more supporters than we have naysayers, just letting you guys know that right now. And so that's why I'm not so affected by the naysayers, because, at the end of the day, they're not me. They're not me. I'm not them.
I like naysayers because it gives me a reason to educate them. It gives me a reason to have open dialogue where they can project, their negative thoughts, and then I can combat that negative thoughts in a more positive light by showing how positivity can always trump over negativity. And
That's
that's not a
important.
pun. That's not a pun towards our president, people, for those who get very touchy sensitive. But yeah, because you can say that it'll never work. It'll never work. But the only way it'll never work is with the mentality like that. It'll never work. If you even remotely inspired a person who inspired someone else, that actually saved the life of somebody that was being trafficked, it still falls on your shoulders. You were part of that. You were part of that
It was a
change.
victory. It's a
Yeah.
victory, and it is a victory. Um, People are now aware of who our runaways are. People are posting that all over. I post a lot of pictures of runaway kids
I see it
nowadays.
on my feed on Facebook.
Yeah,
I see
you
a
know.
lot of it.
So before, you didn't see very much of that. You didn't always see it. Now it's like, now parents are really saying something. Maybe they're, and they're reporting them too, because they have police report numbers along with it. And so one of our slogans, our little campaigns, is see something, say something, report it. If you see a crime happening in front of you, a lot of times nowadays we're such a, I don't know what the hell happened to our society, but a
Oh,
lot of people can see
I
shit
mean,
happening
they do
and
this,
walk. Yeah,
and then they
seriously.
go, they go, Roadstar.
Exactly. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Why aren't you fucking helping the person? Like, you
Down
see
911.
somebody, you see somebody getting beat up and shit like that. Why the fuck are you even recording? Why don't you, I mean, if you really want to record it, why don't you call the fucking cops first? And
All right, Oscar, we thank you for coming in.
Bye, Oscar. Thanks for joining. But yeah, I'm more like, dude, call the cops first and then put your camera out. You know what I mean? Do like
I will come
seriously.
eat when I'm done.
It's like, have we become a society that we just watch people get victimized and hurt and then we don't do shit? Like, do we walk home? How do we feel when we walk home after that? Are we feeling great about ourselves? Oh, yeah, I put on a fucking video. I got clout, man. Clout. That's what it is, right? Everybody's clout chasing nowadays. That's what
My
it is.
friend, my friend Michael wants to join in. He's Technoid, really cool kid. You want him to come in?
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Let me
I don't
DM
mind.
him. Let me DM him.
People are cool.
Yeah, he's
People
a
are
young
cool.
man. He's a young man with an old soul.
It's
So
cool. My nephew's that way. Young man with an old soul. I love those guys. You know, but my thing is why aren't we like, bruh? That's what blows my mind. If I'm a victim of a crime, I'm gonna report it. That's just the crime. But I mean, if I'm a victim of a crime and I can't report it, I would hope somebody that's watching would report it on my behalf and not watch me like get victimized or get hurt or anything of the sort. Like, who the fuck are these people? Why do they think that way?
it's just
What
the thing today. The thing today that that people have become accustomed to
the
is
fuck?
you know sharing this to social media to get the video to go viral so they can get their 15 minutes of fame. That's always what it's been.
On the account of somebody else getting hurt or killed
Yeah.
or taken. So we'll just watch a child
But
get kidnapped and fucking not
But
say
see,
anything.
that's the thing. That's one of the things that I say a lot too. Like, I'm an average supporter of technology, but I also do know limitations to it. And part of the thing that happens with social media and stuff like that is that we're kind of losing our ability to be human. We can't really understand and read people's body language or facial expressions anymore because we're too used to reading emojis and trying to decipher text in a chat. Technoid, what's up, man?
Oh, damn, am I live?
Yeah.
Damn, I just caught y'all catch me drinking my damn juice. Caught me on camera. What's going on? How you doing? Nice to see you guys on. And listen, sorry I came in late. I'm actually hopping back and forth from live stream to live stream, making my rounds. I'm with Sam on one end now. I just came over to join you for a couple minutes. I was watching you guys simultaneously while I was listening, and I gotta say, I really like the message that you guys are trying to do. A lot of us, we kind of, we talk about these things. It's very sensitive because a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but here you are kind of really bringing an issue to light. And I really appreciate when people, they just tune all that crap out and just talk about a real, actual thing happening that people need to speak up. Now, I was listening to you and I was listening to you guys talk for a while. And I noticed you guys say, not a lot of people speak up. Not a lot of people do things. Well, listen, I'm a level with y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all a story and the truth. This is all true. So I don't know people that children abuse or anything like that. I don't know anything like that. But I do know a couple of my friends who have gone through a couple of issues that were socialized on the internet. They posted it, and instead of people feeling sympathetic because they were in the wrong, not my friends, the other people were in the wrong, they get made fun of. They feel like it's what's the word, tormented. They feel
Yeah.
tormented on the internet. And I think the problem that we live in a society, especially in this society, in my generation, and I'm ashamed to say that I don't take pleasure in saying my generation, because my generation has a tendency, instead of doing 911, we pull out our phone and record instead of doing the right thing. What we do is, oh, I'm going to put it on TikTok, or, yo, I'm going to get 1 million views. I'm going to put this on the internet. And that's the problem with my generation. We care more about being famous and care more about laughs and having fun than actually giving a damn about others, because it's so easy. And the thing that pissed me off, there are a lot of innocent people and there are a lot of innocent human beings in this world that deserve the help. They deserve to be heard. And yet they're put on the internet and made to look like the bad guy. And I don't know if I'm making sense saying this, but I feel like my generation has kind of disgraced, and I feel like we've kind of lowered the standards of what we should be doing for others, where we should be looking to help people and looking to make a difference. Instead, we've taken 5 steps back. And I hate my generation. That's why I don't take any pride in being a part of Gen Z or millennial. I don't know what I was born in, but I take no pride. I wish I was born in the 80s. I wish I was born in the 50s, a time where things were less, but at least you were taught higher standards and better moral values. Because I look at the dangers of today, and I'm looking at what's going on in the real world. And I really, really hate what social media has done. And I hate how my generation has taken advantage of it instead of putting it to good use. And I really hate that.
Well, I will say this. Your generation is not at a total loss because for you to say those things that you just said and for you to feel the way that you feel, you are what I would consider the light in your generation that has your generation any chance of self-redemption. It would be from you and those who think like you. Because
I
you can inspire people. You can be the voice that inspires people to change.
you see the only problem with that is that these kids don't care. I'm 20 years old, so I'm still in the young age, but I could speak when I was in high school. Nobody cared. We used to have seminars that teach you about how to save somebody's life if they overdose or how to care about someone. Nobody listened. They're talking, playing on their phones, they're smoking vapes, and they're like, let's just go to the senior carnival. And, you know, it's a disgrace. I really feel that, there was a quote. I remember there was a quote in a movie. I don't remember which movie it was. It was from a movie. I forgot, but the quote was, "The arrogance of man is thinking that we are in control and not the other way around." And it's important because something. I always look at that and I look at my world and I look at how far these people have gone with stupidity, the sound of stupidity. And I say to my own quote, to my generation, there is no escape from the enemy who lives within.
Well
That's really
said.
what I've got to say.
Wait, how old are you again, Technoid?
20 years old.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so I have two sons older than you, and I have two daughters younger than you. And both of my two daughters who are younger than you, they're both adults. And I gotta say, I mean, it really starts in the home. I don't want to stereotype your generation. I mean, it is. I mean, it's very prevalent and it's seen all over the place. So it feels like there's a lot of your generation who's like that, you know. But truly and honestly, I see kids. My daughters have friends and they're very conscious about the world. They care about things. My daughter goes out and sine waves with me, and her best friend Charles, who's the same age as her, they're both 19. They both come out and share. Charles is part of a car club who wants to come out and join too. There, I do see your generation, not as a failure and not as a loss at all. I really don't. I just feel that as more of you guys come out, because you guys are a shyer generation. I'll admit that, though. You're shyer in where, like, I mean, my kids are shy. They don't like being on camera. If I was to tell them to sit here and talk about their generation on camera, they probably wouldn't. I mean, I appreciate how you speak with your conviction. And I could say, yes, based on the majority of what I see on social media with your generation, I would be like, yeah, you guys are like that. But not all. It depends on the home. I raised my kids. I raised my kids to be, good people and people that care about others and not just about themselves. My children, while have social media, barely on it though. They would rather read. Um, they'd rather read and create stories and things of that sort. So my kids, they don't really whip out their phones a lot and try to do that clout chasing thing. And, my kids are taught better values at home. It starts in the home, and it's unfortunate to say, but a lot of my generation, because my generation are your parents, you know what I mean? My generation.
And
My,
something, I will say one thing. I'm so sorry to cut you off.
no, go
My
ahead.
my mother, she was born in 1959. She born in South America. So down
Wow.
in Guyana, so they were raised in a different environment. So when she raised me, it struck a nerve because I was taught the same thing: respect your elders, care for others, do good to others, and you will be rewarded. I was brought up because my mom was very religious. I wasn't. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about religion, but
Go ahead.
I was born a
Yeah.
Catholic. My dad made me a Catholic, and my mom's Muslim. So I learned the best of both. So I was able to learn the values of life from Muslim religion, and also show them the other side with Christianity.
Yes.
And the thing that helps me also stand out is my dad is actually 82 years old. He was born 1939. So he was born in a time when things were a lot more different, and he shows me. And you just said your kids read. Look what I'm doing. I got comic books. Not the most knowledgeable thing to read, but when I'm bored,
Comic
I
books
crack
are
up
awesome.
crack up a book, get the imagination flowing. When I want to be serious, this is what also I'm reading: How to Invest in Gold, the new case for gold. I'm always expanding. I'm not a guy that sits on the internet, just makes video. I mean, I do it for fun, but I like to make my time useful. That's why I make videos, to inform others, to help others, to give basically a voice to people that need something to entertain, make their day. Because I was raised by two parents that came from different backgrounds, different paths, but they all link back to one thing that I think a lot of my generation could use. And I think that's knowledge. I think that's something that's dwindling in our day, because there are a lot of older people are going away. That knowledge is gone. We're supposed to be that knowledge as we get older. And I'm concerned if we're not raised from when we're taught at a young age, if we're not brought up in the right habit to do good to others, to help make a difference. I fear that knowledge dies. The passion and just basically the teachings of all that you've been given through life from point A to point B, it goes away if you're not shaped and modeled. Because you can lead the horse to the well, but you can't make them drink. That's my generation. We've been led by our parents to try to do the right thing. It's up to us if we can do it. And I think that there is a small percentage of people like me, like your daughters, your kids, that can do it. They are the hope. And I think the hope is not something that is just something that comes to you. It's something you believe in. And people always tell me that they feel scared. They feel it's scary. And I say it's not their pain you're afraid of. It's your pain. You're afraid of what you might become. But I say, if you can embrace that fear, if you can embrace what you're afraid, it will make you stronger, because it will push you to learn. It will help you to be a better person, have a better tomorrow. It will help give you a boost, because sometimes we all need a little help, because we stumble along the way. Just because somebody stumbles doesn't mean we leave them on the ground. We help assist others and we get things going. And I just hope that that when we get older, as I get older, I hope that I can be just like my parents, how they raised me, to give back to my children, to teach them how I was taught, old fashioned, old style, but showing the love and honesty and cherish things in life, because there is so much in this lifetime that people don't ever get the chance to do, and they take it for granted. And I feel like my generation is taking that for granted when they use social media for a disadvantage. And I want that to be known, that I'm not like everybody else. And I hope that I've proven I'm not like everyone else. This isn't an act. This is just how I am, outside and inside. I try to be, I wouldn't say influential, because I've still got so much life to learn, life to live. I know that. But I try to give what I've been taught up to this point, for good or for bad.
I'm very, you know what, I'm very grateful I got to hear from you, really, I do. And so your parents, it's interesting. So you know what, I stand corrected. Your parents are of like my parents' generation. So like, well, delicate and young as you are, you know, wow.
And
Okay,
you
so
see
your
why I say
parents,
he's the future of this space, even though
there
he
we
does this
go.
for fun. He does this for fun, but he is one that I stand behind, and I'm pushing the hell out of his channel for him to. I want him to take over this side of the space.
I I don't think I will. There, listen, I'm not trying to be, rude and stuff, but I see kids on this internet. There's this teenager, this kid. He's a really good kid. I really respect the hell out of him. He's a young kid, Life Tech Kid or whatever. I don't know his name. He makes literally 15 videos and he's already at the same amount of subscribers as me. But he does good stuff. Me, it took me 2 years to get here. But the thing is that if I really tried hard, if I really invested time and energy, I probably would be bigger. But I don't, because I feel there's more things in this world to do than just spend time and emotions on the internet. Now, not saying that it's not important, but
No.
I'll be honest with you guys. I've done a lot in the past 10 years, and when I could have been on the internet as a kid, and I could have embarrassed myself even further. I traveled the world with my parents. I was grateful. They took me to places all over Europe, China, Asia. I was so grateful to have explored so many things in this lifetime at the age of just 10 to 20. And I hope that I can do that with my own children, go back to these places and show them what I've seen. And all that time and energy and resources, going to school, learning, kind of helps pay off in the end. Because I look at it and I say, if I took that same amount of dedication and put it on the internet, where would I be right now? So that's why I don't try hard. I just do it for fun. I'm not looking for this to be a career. If it takes off, it takes off. But, you know, Tito's been behind me. Tito's
I
been
believe
one of
it
the
will.
biggest supporters. And hey, listen, let that kid get as many subs as he wants. Let everybody get as much subs as they want. I don't care. I'm happy with 1 view. I don't even care if I get 10 views. If one person watched the video and got something out of it, I did my job right. If one person could have an impact, at least something, feel something good, bad, or whatever, if they feel anything, if they got something good out of it, done. I don't need to worry about 100 views. I don't need to worry about subscribers. If I made an impact for somebody, that's all that matters.
And for
That's why he's gonna
Riverdale,
blow up.
yeah, and for Riverdale, who talked about it earlier, even if we just influence one person to change their minds or
Oh,
change
yeah.
the way they think, then the message that we share is important. I mean, it was worth it. It was worth standing out there for 2 hours waving a sign. Um, you know, I know there's huge generational differences and everybody's raised differently, but I always gonna believe this. I don't like to generalize or broaden or whatever is. I just say this. It really starts in the home. It depends on who your parents are and what they teach. Some parents work 2, 3 jobs, so a lot of kids are what we called in the old days latchkey kids. So they basically go home, they gotta fend for themselves, take care of themselves till mom and dad get home from work. And then mom and dad gotta get ready for the next job because our country has come to a point where just having one job is just not good enough anymore, like to make ends
Mhm.
meet. We're so worried about finances and how we're gonna continue to survive. And a lot of it is because yes, we do overspend. Yes, we kind of do what our government does. We spend money that we don't have. And so we find ourselves in a bind where we have to work 2, 3, 4, 5 jobs. And then you have this overinflation of all, I mean, just the times have changed. Milk today in Hawaii, $8. Good quality brand milk. If you buy the regular generic kind, I guess about $5. I go to the mainland every now and then to go visit, and milk is like $2. I'm like, wow, that's cool. $2, $2 milk.
Mhm.
But so it's with mommy and daddy being out of the home a lot, having to work to take care of their kids, to provide for their kids.
Hang
Who's
on one
watching the
sec. I'll
kids?
be right back. I gotta go check on the kiddos.
No worries.
You,
Yeah,
you,
but who's taking care of the kids? Nobody is. Nobody is in that home. And if that kid goes awry, you know, is the parents taking care of the kids? No, the government is. They become ward of the state and things of that sort. And do we really want our government raising our kids? No, because they will not instill the values that we were taught by our family,
Mhm.
by our parents. We were taught, well, my parents are the generation where they believe children were seen and not heard. So my brother and I were, seen and not heard, basically. Like, we kept a lot of stuff to ourselves. We kept a lot of our lives to ourselves, didn't tell our parents anything because we grew up that way. But they also instilled good values, as in, like, if you see rubbish or trash on the ground, you're walking and you see it, pick it up and put it in the trash. It doesn't take much effort to do that. If you see somebody having a difficult time carrying something, go over there and help them carry it. It takes only a few minutes of your time, but that person's going to remember you. You know what I mean? When they see you later on, they will remember you. They will remember how much you've helped them, and maybe one day they'll be of service to you back. We were taught to be decent and kind, to, treat others, treat others really well, because you never know when you're going to see that person ever again. We But somehow, I mean, in some families, as the generations go, that those messages and those morals are slowly diminishing, really. And what frustrates me the most is when you see somebody getting hurt, like, or when someone sees someone getting hurt. I don't want to say you, but when someone sees someone get hurt and they pull out a phone and whip out a phone and just, like, do that and start yeah, that is a damn shame. And I'm like, geez, what's up with these kids nowadays? Why is it so funny that somebody's getting the crap kicked out of them for their shoes that they worked hard for to get? Or why is it funny to watch race wars on the streets? You know what I mean?
You
Well, how
know,
is that funny? That's not funny.
you know, I'll be honest with you. I have friends that attended, the protests and stuff, and they told me firsthand, they're like, dude, this isn't a protest. This is just chaos. This wasn't sending a message. This was just do whatever the hell you wanted. And I was like, where are you guys at? Where's these protests? Why am I not seeing this? They're like, we're posting it because we want people to know, don't come here. That you're not going to protest and get a message out. I look at the stuff that's going on the news, and I don't like to talk politics because I'll be real with you guys. I'm independent. I don't like the Democrats and I don't like the Republicans. I don't like either side. I just there's nothing there for me to say I can side with one over the other because to me I don't like them both. But I will say that they're both doing a terrible job if they really think that this is supposed to help us and make us better. See, this is where I'm going to say, you hit something on the nail before I even get into that. It starts at home. It starts at home. And I think that some kids are unfortunate that they can't sometimes get that nice home. Because again, kids can't pick who their parents are. They can't choose who's going to be their legal guardian. So if they're blessed enough to get somebody that's a good parent, that's good. But if they're unfortunate to have someone that's a terrible parent, that's unfortunate. But the children, as they get older, they can learn from it and try to be a better person. But sometimes it doesn't work that way. You never know. It could go. But, I always thought that sometimes it's easier said than done. A long time ago, I used to think it's easier said than done. And I still believe it because talk is free. It's always easy to say things because it's free. It's coming out of your mouth. But when you have to do action and actually do something, they won't do it. See, I train at MMA. I do MMA, UFC. I just for amateur. I compete, but not professionally. And I learned there. It's like it's easy to talk with this,
Yeah.
but when you got to use these, it's really these that matter, not these. Because you got to determine and pick your fights, not the other way around. You don't go looking for a fight. And I look at this generation. A lot of these kids, they just want to talk in social media. They're like, "Oh, sound tough." You're not tough. You're just using a so-called platform to try to look like you're tough. Like recently, what's going on out there in the protests and stuff, where my friends are attending. I saw a video. I don't know if this is the truth. I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a video of a guy who was trying to be a part, try to support the protest, bring an end to the bad stuff that's happening. And the people turned on him all because he was white. He wasn't African American. They said, "Oh, you don't feel what we feel." And I was just like, so you got people that actually give a damn. You've got people that were passionate, or at least to say caring, or, have some kind of emotion. And you just be like, "Oh, we don't need you." You know, that's like saying you don't need your parents when you really need them. Like, when you're down and you're just like, "Oh, I can get over this," but you really need them on the inside. And it burns because I really hate how sometimes these people can get nasty. The nastiness, the hatred, and the voice. That's why I refuse to support most of these things. And that's why I kind of just sit in the back and I'm like, look, I'm going to just do me and I'm going to just live my life. But just, I know it's there. It's just that I don't want to get involved because if I do get involved, it's not going to be pretty. I'm not saying physically or emotionally. It's just nothing good
It's not
comes
gonna
out
be.
of that.
It's not gonna be spiritually beneficial for you. Really, you're not gonna get the positivity that you need out of it. You know, I'm a positive person, and I really try to go out there and be positive. You know, okay, by nature, I'm a pessimist. I'm a natural pessimist. I'm a natural. I am. I can see the worst in everything. You know, I could find it real quickly. But my challenge to myself was, as I was gonna try and find good things out of everything, because there's always good in everything. There's always good in opposition. Like I shared earlier before you came on, you know, opposition offers me an opportunity to look at all these doors and choose what door I'm gonna decide to walk. Um, yes, there are some kids that come from great households. There are some kids that come from unfortunate households. My household was a little bit of both, I would say, because I mean, my brother and I, our parents were divorced. They both remarried other people, and the people that they remarried at the time, we were not really favorable about them. We didn't have any favorable thoughts of them. But, I think they tried their best. I really think they did, you know. But one thing that, I mean, and this is where personal accountability comes in, because we can always say, oh yeah, it starts in the home, so everything's our parents' fault. But no, but there is a part, and it's tricky, because it does involve parents, teaching and being supportive, and being that role model. But also there's a personal accountability, and that's where I've experienced. I realized I didn't want to be like my mom. My mom is not a bad woman, but there are parts about her that I didn't want to have as a mother myself, and so that's where my personal accountability comes in. And I say, okay, my mom was great at this. My mom wasn't great at this. I'm going to make sure that I don't do what my mom did, that she wasn't great at. And so, I had to basically use what my parents taught me that were good, and then I had to kind of find, it man, it's amazing. It's hard to put it into words, but it's where you come from, it's where you grow up, but it's also personal accountability as well, because
And
eventually we become adults and we have to make our own choices, and mommy and daddy cannot be our influence all our lives.
and if you can't take accountability, if you can't say I'm wrong,
Right.
you're not going to make it, because that's a problem with my generation as well. They don't want to take accountability for nothing. They want to say, "Oh, it's his fault," or "It's their fault." It's never, "I messed up. I made a mistake." I was taught since day one, you do the wrong thing, you say you did the wrong thing. You don't try to make an excuse. There's no excuse. It's you and you alone. I mean,
Yeah.
unless, of course, somebody was with you, but still, that's not the point. The point is, you've got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet and say, I'm a man. Because you know what's amazing? And you know YFS? Twitter is a perfect example. Twitter has some of the worst people I've ever seen. And I'm going to just say it right now. I don't know if this is going to offend people. It's mostly Democrats. I'm just saying it. I know.
Say it. It's
I
open.
get it.
It's open in
Hey,
this
listen.
stream. Say it.
I know Republicans can say some dumb things at times, but I have never seen so much garbage come out of the Democratic side from people that are Democratic. And how do I know this? Well, it's simple. Whenever there's a post, not political based, any post, anything that has to do with a smudge of maybe a problem going on in this country, saying, oh, well, there's a shortage, or oh, we need a reformer, or any something that doesn't involve blaming somebody, right away on Twitter, they're pointing the finger. They want to say it's his fault. It's his fault. He should be gone. But I'm like, what about y'all? Y'all sitting there, type it up on your keyboards. Why don't you think about it and say, what can I do to make a difference? How about you speak up and say, oh, instead of saying it's their fault, how about I say, do something? Let's actually do something. Like, I hate that about people. They want to just type away. They just want to talk and actually not do anything, but they still want to blame others for the mess ups, the fuck ups.
Pretty much. It's
That's
a
how it
sad
is.
thing. It's I'm not sure how far this is gonna go. I mean, this negativity and unruliness, I guess you can. I don't know. I don't even know what to even call it anymore. I mean, I never thought it would be this way. I
Proximity. Toxicity is what I call it.
I never know it was gonna get this far. I mean, I know my generation were a rebellious generation, you know, but we did still have morals. You know what I mean? Like we still didn't. I just never thought I'd see a day where somebody would beat the shit out of an old man at a riot. Okay, I just never ever thought I'd see that. We were never taught that way. I was never taught that way. You respect your elderly, you know what I mean? Whatever they tell you to do, you do. Even though you don't agree with it, you just do it anyways. I mean, unless it's really sinister and but if your elderly tells you to go clean the yard, clean the whole yard, even if you don't feel like doing it, you do it anyways because you listen to your elders. You respected them when they tell you stuff like, oh, don't go out too late at night, come home earlier. Yeah, my rebellious self would stay out a little bit longer, yeah, but I would never like up until I'm no, fuck you, you know what I mean? I would never tell that to somebody older than me. That is not the way I was raised. And it seems like kids nowadays are willing to, say that to people who are adults. I'm 42 years old, despite what people think. I mean, people think I look younger, so they treat me like I'm their age. I mean, I've had people that would come on social media and just basically tell me, about fuck you, you know what I mean? Like they're younger than me, I'm older than them, they're like my kids' age. It's like, how is that okay? Oh my gosh. It's so hard, but I think, with the movement that we're trying to do here, I know like some of the generations, below us are like, oh, what's the point in doing it? It's a business that's going to keep on continuing anyway, so why even try? Well, because I stand accountable for what I do. I don't stand accountable for what y'all do, like anybody else. If they want to turn a blind eye and don't want to do shit, well, they can be accountable for that. Because forcefully one day they will be accountable. They will be held accountable, whether they want to or not. That's just life. That's the way it works. Okay, guys. It's not something you can just you know, erase from your life and be like, oh, okay, I don't ever want to be accountable. I'll never be. You will be one day. One day you'll believe in a God or some God or whatever God, and they're all gonna hold you accountable in the end. So come on, goodness with that malarkey. But for me, it may not. I mean, to people who think I'm doing it for nothing, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. But I sleep well at night. I know that there's a problem in this world. I'm lending a hand. I'm doing something besides sit on my ass and talk about it all day. I'm out there on the streets. You know what I mean? What the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? That's what I like tell them. Half the time it's like, I'm out there pounding the pavements. I'm sitting in the hot sun. It's very uncomfortable. I'm diabetic. Sometimes I don't eat as much as I need to. I go out there and I connect with people. All you see is what you see on Facebook, but you don't see my background and what I do behind the scenes. I do a lot. I work a lot. I mean, and I don't get paid for it. I don't get paid. First of all, I don't even get paid. I don't do fucking like videos and shit like that and get paid, I love humanity. I love people. I love kids. I love adults. I love everybody. And my thing is I want to be out there. I want to help the world understand that, you know what? I'm out here. I'm out here for you. These survivors out there, I'm here for you. These kids who are still going through the nightmares, I'm out there talking for you. It'd be a damn shame if I have all this passion pent up inside me and I just do fucking nothing. It's I don't know.
That's well said.
Somehow, some way, something's gonna change. This can't stay like this forever. It cannot. It just can't. People hurting each other, and I mean, bro, just the other day, I got a hate comment. Seriously, a personal attack on my own character. Okay, yeah, I didn't always make the right decisions. Yeah, I did some stupid things. Yeah, I've smoked pot when I was a kid. Yes, there was a time in my life I couldn't deal with things. Yeah, I turned to methamphetamine at one point in time. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and make like I'm a perfect person, but it's because of my imperfection that I can go out there and raise my voice because I've been through shit. You know what I mean? I've been through it. I survived. I am a survivor of trafficking. I am a survivor of sexual assault, rape. I've had so much boyfriends over twice my age, pedophiles out there that would make me think that this is a romantic relationship and one day we're going to get married. And then I get too old and they move on to the next person. You know, I'm not proud of everything I've ever done in my life, but I'll be damned if I'm going to continue to stay in that funk. You know what I mean? I'm going
Mhm.
to take the shit I've learned with my life and I'm going to do something positive about it. And if that offends people, if that makes people mad, oh well. You know what I mean? Oh well, that's where it comes down to. You know what I mean? If you're gonna back me into a corner and turn me into a bad guy because I'm not gonna conform to everybody's bullshit, so be it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do me, you do you. You can continue to sit on the sidelines and bitch about what I do, or pick up a fucking sign for a cause and go out there and do something about this fucked up planet we seem to live in today. That's all I gotta say, I think. But Technoid, I appreciate your thoughts. I appreciate your honesty, and I definitely, definitely appreciate seeing a member of your generation who has a brain and a heart. Not too many of you guys are out there. I have a few that reside in my home. As a matter of fact, my 4 kids, and then I've got 2 kids who don't live with me, and they're pretty much good people too. They're all good kids, you know, but I don't see that often. And it's good. It's really refreshing for me to see somebody who's not my own kid, who's like, who shares the same values.
Of
Thank you,
course.
Technoid, for sharing.
No, of course. And listen, I gotta actually go. I gotta hop back on the other stream, but I just want to say one more
Go for it.
thing before I go. I can't imagine. You said you were part of trafficking, sexual harassment, and I can't imagine what that must feel like, and I probably never will. I'll say it right now. I don't know what that feels like, and I don't think I ever will. But just because I can't feel it doesn't mean I can't feel something, and you know, I feel horrible. I wish things like that never happened to people, and I always pray to God if I say if there's a God and He's listening, and I think He is. I ask that this stuff happen, this stops and you just gotta give people a sign of goodness, just show kindness. And I think the problem that most people nowadays do is they don't. They spend more time loving to hate, and they love to just spread negativity. So I do my job in this world. I do one job in this world, just to make people happy and try to do good to others. And I'll be honest with you, I made a lot of mistakes in my life. Well, not my entire life, but for what I've lived, I've made a few mistakes. I wish I could have changed a couple of things here and there, but I use that as an example, and I teach my kids what I've done wrong to not do. And I'm proud that my parents raised me the way that I was, and I'm proud that I continue to try to spread some kind of a good nature, whatever there is left, because I feel like the one takeaway that everyone should have is hope. I think it's hope and believe in what you believe and make a difference. Even if it means giving up something, just make a difference, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to, who will?
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for letting me come in. Thank you for your
Hey,
time. I really appreciate it.
I
Thank
You
appreciate
guys,
you coming in.
no, thank you guys.
I
I'll talk to
appreciate your
you.
wisdom.
Of course, absolutely. You guys take care, and I'll
You too.
definitely be here rooting for you guys, and I'll definitely try to do as best I can.
All
Thanks,
right,
Technoid.
man.
Appreciate it.
Mahalo, or what do they say?
Yeah,
Mahalo.
Yeah,
mahalo.
mahalo.
You said it right.
I was in Hawaii a few months ago, so mahalo.
Yeah,
All right,
alahas.
brother.
Take care,
Take it
guys.
easy. Okay.
That's a very, very smart and wise young man. His parents must be super proud of him. I
This is
am proud
why.
of him.
This is why I tell people. Like I know, and that's the thing. Like I know he does YouTube for fun. Let me put it this way for a lot of people out there. A lot of what he said about like if he just influences one person to make a good buy, or if one person watches his videos and that's fine. Like he's not worried about the major subscribers or those major things. It was the way that I started YouTube in 2011. So, you know, where his channel goes success wise, I mean, that's within his hands of, in his control. But I will say this, that if he does decide to stay on YouTube and continue doing what he's doing, whether he puts more effort into his videos, which I think he's being super modest because he's the guy that I was telling you about that did an open intro and completely mimicked the 2.5 Men intro. And then
Oh,
he also did the intro where he did the Power Rangers intro. And like, he's really good with video editing and, duplicating himself in a video to make it seem like that there's
he
like
was
a
there.
bunch of them. Yeah. And
Yeah, nice.
that is more effort than what I see most YouTubers doing to entertain, their subscribers. Like most YouTubers like myself have like a little, intro with a little bit of techno beat to it and their logo and that's it. But every now and then to give his subscribers something entertaining to start off his videos on a good note, he will go the extra mile and he will just be like the crazy clown to make people laugh to get them started and prepared for a show. And that's why I believe so much in his channel that like when he's up there, because I always tell him like right now he's over 1,000 subscribers. He can monetize his videos. He can start making money off of the creative products that he makes. So whether he gets like 11,000, 100,000, or 1 million subscribers, that's up to him. But right now, mostly in anything, it's more about the views. Views is where it really matters in that. And the more people that view his videos, the better off his videos will circulate amongst the community. And the his no bullshit um explanation of things, because he does not sugarcoat or play favors, or he's not biased, except for PlayStation. He's biased on that, but I understand. We take our video games seriously. So, but other than that, yeah, he's the one that I was talking about.
He's cool. He's a cool guy. I mean, I was gonna call him a cool kid, but I mean,
No,
because
not
of
with
the
that
age
common
difference.
knowledge he has.
But yeah, I'm not gonna even call him a kid. A kid is kind of like somebody who doesn't really know very much and still naive to the world. This young man is sharp, very sharp. I mean, in addition with my kids, these guys are like the sharper tools of the shed.
What's
They're the
funny?
ones.
His
Go ahead.
his father. I thought about it. His father. He says dad is he was born in 1938, right? I think he said that. His dad is 11 years older than our dad. I was gonna say that, but then I kind of got sidetracked. And the kids are playing. I was laughing at the kids because Destiny, she's like trying to calm her siblings down. So she's all like, "Dad's doing a live stream. Shh, they can hear us." And then Aubrey's like excited, like you hear her scream, and Rain is like, "Ah!" I could just picture him running to the kitchen and running back. They're playing, which I don't mind. And then if
That's what
anyone
kids
complains
do.
about that, then
That's what yeah, that's what kids do. Let them be
yeah,
kids, because
yeah.
when they grow up into the world that they're growing up into, oh my gosh.
Yeah, they got their man today. What was it? Yesterday we got a phone call from the school, and the school was like, "Oh yeah, please make sure that you arrive at 9 a.m. in the morning to pick up kids' school supplies and workbooks and textbooks." I'm like, "Oh okay." I'm like, "Wait, school supplies? What school supplies?" Because I have bought my kids their school supplies: crayons, glue sticks, glue, scissors, all that stuff you buy your kids. I get there and they hand me 2 boxes, one for Aubrey and one for Destiny. And inside there is the same things of everything I bought my daughters for school. And I'm like, ah, now I got double of this stuff. But it was so cool. I mean, it's good to see that there are programs that still support the kids out there, and they put together these, they call them learning kits. And it has everything a child needs to be productive and successful in their classwork. Yes, not until I get confirmation from your teacher that you guys are doing your science books. You're not supposed to be in my room. Put it back. It's okay. Um, she wants to do her science textbook, but I don't want them to start on it in case their teacher is going through the pages and assigning specific pages to do. And then she'll be done with that workbook. She loves science. That's why. So, but yeah, it's good to see organizations that actually cares about the kids. It's good to see
There are.
you and your friends, your ohana that care so much for the kids that you guys will even put yourself in crossfires of Honolulu's finest HPD and go out there and take a stand. I know
You know,
we've been on. we've been on here for about like 2 hours, so I do want to kind of,
Wrap it up.
wrap it up because I am gonna post this to your Facebook thing. But I'm gonna give you the ground for closing thoughts, and then we'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top, as ABL says. I like to grab things from other content creators, and we'll call it a day. So you have the
Cool.
floor.
Wow. Okay, guys, it's as simple as this. The world that we have, the world that we're living in, depends on the choices we make as people. You know, I know there's a lot of different causes in this world, and they're all good and worthy causes. You know, my advice to you guys out there, especially because I get this question a lot: how do we join the movement? How do we even start a movement? It's really simple. And as I think about it, I'm thinking about that video my brother posted, but we'll save that for another time. But it's just going out there and just doing it, really. Protect Our Keiki started in Big Island. Lopaka Miliora, he saw a need. Kids were coming up missing, and he decided to bring that to the forefront. It started there, and then he called for other islands to join. I answered the call. I was already passionate and doing stuff on my own page, raising awareness, in some shape or form. And I decided to answer and join with him, and had our first sign wave event across the street from where I live. And it was just me and my daughter, just two people. One sign that said Protect Our Keiki. Keiki means children. And we stood for 2 hours, because the way I felt is if I'm going to ask my community, my friends, my family to go out there and raise a sign, I better be able to do it for myself. So I challenged myself, and my daughter came along with me. We challenged ourselves. We did it. And it snowballed from there. I didn't go and knock people's doors or get invasive or anything of the sort. It wasn't rocket science. And it was kind of a no-brainer. You just go out there and you share, and you share with people where you're going to next. Okay, I'm going to go sign wave over here. Then people join. Okay, I'm going to go sign wave over there now. More people join. And that's how the movement really started rolling. We are 3 months in, just 3 months in. I've had 14 people talk to me. We've had lots of activity where people are now starting to post things that they see, and they're starting to report things too. I see a change. It's not a grand change. Sure, I mean, we still have traffickers and pedophiles all over the place, and we're probably never going to eliminate them off the face of the earth. I get that. But this earth, this world that we live in, our little bubble, our little world, it's what we make of it. And I refuse to sit down and do nothing. But that's just me. I pray somebody is inspired to do something in their area. It doesn't have to just happen in Hawaii. Every state can do this. Every state, as long as you have love in your heart and you care about people, you can go out and make a difference. If it's not a big difference today, but you don't know what the next generation sees, we are examples to our next generation. What are we telling our next generation when we stay silent? When we stay at home and complain about the world, yet we don't do anything about it? What are we showing our kids? Think about it. And if you want to join, get to me. You guys can find me, hashtag Protect Our Keiki Oahu. You can find me on Facebook and on Instagram under that. I appreciate everything that you guys do. I have a lot of supporters. We have a lot of supporters. The movement has a lot of supporters. And I cannot express, words can't express how much I dearly appreciate the support. Every time I see you guys out there standing there on the pavement with me, sweating with me, I feel even more and more inspired. It motivates me to do more and more. Keep shining that light out there, you guys. And don't let anybody take your voice away. Finally, my last message. Don't let anybody take your freedoms away. You have it, and people have paid for it. My father paid for it. My uncle paid for it. Don't allow them to take it from you. You have a voice. Use it.
All right, very well said. So I do want to thank everybody who came in at one point and watched the live, and hopefully you guys come back and watch the replay and see the whole thing. Um, YFS, Gene, Oscar, Maverick. Thank you guys for coming in. Even Riverdale Tales, even though he
And
was a bit on the
Riverdale.
it was on the pessimistic side, but still, thank you for
It's
coming
okay.
and watching it. And you know what? A big thank you, sis. A real big thank you for coming on here and sharing and giving out information and sharing the events that took place the other day and just, you know, bringing realization to this. More and more people need to know about it. So I appreciate you coming on and allowing me to have you guest host with me. It was fun. It was awesome. I like doing this. So I know we're gonna do more of these, but Ed Technoid, Michael, thank you for coming on. And Michael's his real name. But yeah, thank you for coming on. And so we're gonna close it out, everybody. You guys go ahead, enjoy the rest of your night, eat dinner wherever you're at in the world. I know YFS, you're in California, so you should be eating dinner, I guess, bro. Um, we love you guys. We thank you guys so much for joining in. I hope you guys took something from this. Like I said, if you guys want to reach out to my sister, it's Protect Our Keiki Oahu. Yeah, so what's in the hashtag right there? Just use that, add the word Oahu, or this is the name of the island that she's on, and you'll find her on Instagram. You can look her up, SR Gomes on Facebook. I don't know if you can still add people, but if not, you can find her page. It's probably the best one to go to, her page, which is Protect Our Keiki Oahu. I'll find it on Facebook and follow it. She live streams on there. She live streams her live events where she's at, where they're sign waving, and you guys can keep in touch if you guys want to, link up with her to get ideas to start, your own movement in your city, because you can do it yourself too. She can help you out. She's more than willing to give you guys advice on how she got it started on her end, and you guys could do it in your cities. We could do this everywhere. We could do this everywhere, and so thank you guys again. Much love to all you guys. As always, aloha.
Aloha.